And they do not recommend the use of pulmonary artery catheter routinely in patients who are mechanically ventilated, because there is actually no advantage whether you insert your pulmonary artery catheter in terms of survival, so it's not recommended. And use of conservative fluid strategy for acute lung injury with no evidence of tissue hypoperfusion, because studies have shown that if you give less fluid in patients with acute lung injury, then there is better oxygenation. Use sedation protocols with a sedation goal. If you require to give sedation therapy to your patient, then you have a sedation protocol. And they have also shown that if you use these, the duration of mechanical ventilation is also shortened. And you may use either intermittent body sedation or continuous infusion to predetermined endpoints. But if you use your continuous infusion, there should be a daily interruption or lighting to produce a waiting, so that you can also assess whether the patient still needs to be put on mechanical ventilator or you can already wean the patient. And you should avoid neuromuscular blockers if possible, because there may be prolonged blocking once you discontinue your neuromuscular blockers. Glucose control. It is recommended to use IV insulin rather than your oral hypoglycemic agents. That's a 1B recommendation. And you should aim to keep the blood glucose less than 150. Now, it's important, they have found studies that it is also important to have a steady blood glucose. Very erratic levels of blood glucose results to a lesser or decreased survival in patients. And you should provide glucose calorie source and monitor glucose every 1 to 2 hours, or 4 hours when the patient is stable or when the sugar is stable, and for those patients receiving IV insulin. And you should interpret with caution low glucose levels, as there might be some errors in determination, and they may overestimate arterial or plasma glucose levels. This will show us that the survival in patients who are given insulin, intensive treatment of insulin to control your glucose, have higher survival compared to your conventional treatment. Dialysis, renal replacement. Studies have shown that there is actually no difference in terms of survival whether you give intermittent hemodialysis or your continuous renal hemofiltration method. And continuous renal hemofiltration method, though, offers easier management in hemodynamically unstable patients. So you may opt to give, you don't have continuous renal filtration here, so you only have intermittent hemodialysis. Bicarbonate therapy is not recommended for the purpose of improving hemodynamics or reducing vasopressor agents when treating hypoperfusion-induced lactic acidemia, more than 7.15 pH. Because the sodium bicarb will only lead to sodium and fluid overload, a decrease in your ionized calcium. Deep venous thrombosis prophylaxis. Use either a low-dose unfractionated heparin or a low-molecular weight heparin, unless contraindicated. So if you cannot use this, you use mechanical prophylactic device when heparin is not contraindicated. So use a combination of pharmacologic and mechanical treatment for patients at very high risk for DVT. And in patients at very high risk, low molecular weight should be used than your unfractionated heparin. But in patients with renal failure, unfractionated heparin is preferred over your low molecular weight heparin. Stress ulcer prophylaxis. They strongly recommend this. Provide stress ulcer prophylaxis. It doesn't matter whether you give H2 blocker or your proton pump inhibitors. So the benefits of upward GI bleed prevention should be weighed against the potential for development of ventilator-associated pneumonia, because there are studies that shows that if you give prophylaxis, stress ulcer prophylaxis in patients with critical patients, then you may have the patient may develop ventilator-associated pneumonia. And it is also important to discuss advanced care planning, including likely outcomes and realistic goals of treatment with the patients and families. And studies have shown that if we do this, there is less anxiety and less depression in patients when this is done. That's the last slide. Thank you.